What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Today I'm talking about the new Death from Above album, Outrage is Now. So Death from Above is back, also known as Death from Above 1979, though I believe they are officially Death from Above. I think I saw that on Twitter. They had a first album way back in the early 2000s. It fit along with that kind of rock revival type vibe, much like the White Stripes, with that kind of minimalist approach. You have Jesse on the bass and vocals, you have Sebastian on the drums, and they just rock out, and that's what they do. They went away for quite a while, came back with an album a couple years ago, The Physical World. I gotta say, The Physical World did not really hit me. I bought the record when it came out, tried to listen to it quite a lot, and it just didn't really stick with me. None of the songs really stood out. It was just kind of there. And right around the time Royal Blood came out with their debut album, so in my mind, I just thought Royal Blood was just doing this much better than Death from Above was doing at this time. They've been away for so long, you would expect a really great comeback, and it just didn't hold up. So I kind of cautiously went into Outrages Now. It took a couple listens, honestly, but then something clicked. I really enjoy this album. It has a lot of, hard rock vibes to it, but, some of their more punk tendencies as well. As well as some experimentation with different instrumentation, such as pianos or synthesizers. They really try a lot of different things here, and I think it works out pretty well. Nomad gets things off to a very energetic start. You have a sludgy, Sabbathy kind of riff to it, a nice swing kind of beat. It really hits really hard. Great vocals from Jesse overall. Has just a crushing chorus with the the drums are just flying. It's really a great opener. Freeze Me comes up next. That was the first single from the album, I believe, or at least the only one that I had heard up to this. And you're hearing that kind of experimentation with the piano type sounds, but you also have very classic riffs going on with the bass. I like that the bass mimics that piano line because it just sounds so aggressive and so heavy. And then you have these kind of spacey verses where the piano's playing in the background. The song just overall really works really well. There's a very epic, middle section where, the bass is just riffing, kind of soloing, not really, it's more like a riff, but, definitely pretty awesome. Caught Up, I thought was a pretty good song, had a nice groove to it, and then it just hits you with this, great aggressive section in the middle there. I like how they speed things up here, really bring up the energy in an otherwise pretty groovy, song. That middle section, very rock and roll type vibe to it. Outrage is Now, the title track comes up next. One of the weaker moments on here for me. It's kind of spacey and, drawn out, kind of like random riffs going on here, a little bit of random in the drum patterns. I think it's an okay song, which doesn't work too well for me. Never Swim Alone I like a lot, because it's just kind of weird. Very bouncy drums going on. A very bouncy riff to go along with it. There's a lot of groove here. You can't help but, move when you hear this song. And the vocal delivery is very strange, very, high-pitched, almost shrieky, but it just works so well for me. It kind of makes me think of, the Red Hot Chili Peppers or, Faith No More or something like that. Just a very weird song. Moonlight's definitely another standout here. A nice heavy riff to open things up. Sort of slower, driving drums. I feel like Jesse's vocal delivery here reminds me a lot of Matthew Bellamy from Muse. That kind of slower crooning type thing. And Statues right after, definitely another standout. I like the walking kind of guitar line, the way the vocals kind of just float above that. It has a nice groove to it. Adds a nice balance between more aggressive type songs and more kind of laid back groovier ones. 2017, it's the year of groove. I feel like but a lot of the albums that I have reviewed on this channel, and I'm a very new channel, a lot of them I have mentioned how, this band is really getting into their groove more than they ever really have. Next two tracks, All I See Is You and Me and Never Forever, almost forgot which order it was in. Kind of goes back to their punkier roots. Some pretty solid songs. They don't particularly stand out to me. I just think they're, good to listen to. And then finally, Holy Books closes this thing out. Definitely a huge highlight for me. Probably my favorite song on this record. Along with Never Swim Alone, I would say. Just a huge song, huge riffs, huge chorus as far as the vocals and everything goes. I like that sort of piano. Oh my god. I like that sort of piano interlude that goes on in the middle there. Before the song ultimately comes back in and just crushes you again. Great way to end the album. Probably the catchiest chorus on the album for me too. It's just the one that kind of sticks in your head the most. Not all these songs have like the most like standout kind of hooks to them like that, but I think Holy Books is definitely one that does. And so overall, definitely an album that really grew on me after a bunch of listens. It took some time for sure. Ended up being a really great album for me, one that I see myself going back to. Lots of good piano on here. Overall, I would give this one a 4 out of 5. So let me know what you think of the album in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And thanks again. I'll see you guys next time.